Alright, my last video cut out early. All weird, but I'm still gonna put it up, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, maybe, maybe not. Okay, I'm not gonna delve too deeply into rankings and stuff like that, but let me just give you an idea of where I'm at. I'm in the top group. Pat on my back, pat myself on the back quickly. Um, a quick summary. Uh, And a thumbs up to everybody who's on this list. I want to say thank you for letting me use your gamer tags on my channel. I am down here at number 23 on this particular leaderboard. Group 1, Legend 1, and I'm in danger of relegation, so I gotta pick it up a little bit. Get myself into the top 20, I believe. The bottom 10 are going to get pushed into Legend 2, I believe, if we don't get faster, essentially. I think that's how this works. Relegation Legend 2, I could look into that a little bit more, but that's for another video and for a time when I have more followers. Okay, let's go into the daily and take a look at what my setup is for Brooks Reverse. Using it, these are my favorite two Rally 1 cars, and don't get me wrong, on some days the Hyundai is my favorite car. The Hyundai i20N Rally 1 is an incredible car. The Puma, I think, is easier to drive, and the Toyota is just bonkers. Regardless of surface, the Toyota, at least for me, is relatively a dope car. Okay, you guys can't see the whole screen. That's better. All right. There are some ergonomic issues with this game that I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm glad the game is the game. So kudos to Kyloton, to Nacon, to all the different third-party publishing and development partners that helped to make this a reality. We're gonna go into warm-up. And save you some time. Alright. It's a nighttime stage. I'm going to stick with map 2 because I don't want my rear end all over the place. As you can see, I have 3 different setups for gravel right now. One for Toyota Kenya specifically. This is my sand setup. I call it YarisR1. Don't ask me why, but that's that's a nod to Dune. If anybody knows anything about that particular universe of lore, I forget Frank somebody. I forget what his last name is at this right this second. But yeah, I do have 3 different setups. This is the one I was working on earlier for this particular stage. Mostly because New Zealand is a little bit more of a standard surface. At least New Zealand. If I get New Zealand right, I feel like I have Chile right and Argentina much better. And Turkey as well. This, at least in terms of surface. Turkey requires a change in my ground clearance that is kind of specific, but at the same time, that's just one particular thing that needs to change. All right. In this particular, I just want to make sure that the camera's not hunting all over the place. My springs on the Toyota, it's a little bit boring because the front and the back are not going to change. or not necessarily going to be different. I made sure in this particular case to essentially tighten up the center of the car. So the way I rationalize this is that it's going to be harder essentially for the front or the back of the car to turn. The higher I turn, I bring these percentages up in the center. So right, a high percentage improves cornering but decreases stability. What did I say? That I wanted it to be harder. The way I see it, the higher the percentage improves the cornering while accelerating, but decreases stability while accelerating, decreases stability. If I put it on 0, essentially the car is completely free back and forth. The higher I bring it, the car is not completely free to do what it wants and binds a little bit more. The more I do these setup videos, the more I'll be thinking about it, and the more I'll be like actually rationalizing and explaining my rationale a little bit better about why I bring up percentages or bring them down. I feel like the explanations are not very good. The way that they present the information about a lot of these different settings, but whatever, I'm not going to get into that right now. I just wanted to kind of show off. I wanted to show off my settings, not my personal settings. My settings on the game should be, I don't know if they're the same as other people. They might be a little bit different. I think my transmission in this particular case might be a little bit long, so I should bring it up. I'm sorry, go this way with it. I should go that way with it so that I can have a little bit more acceleration. It'll reduce my top speed a little bit, but that's fine. Transmission is a setting, brakes are set. Brakes is a setting that I kind of understand a little bit better, at least now. I think in my first setup video, I got this wrong in particular. I may have mentioned that I was going to get it wrong or not explain it completely right, and that goes for this setup video too. At least in terms of the differential, I don't think I'm getting it completely right exactly in terms of explaining how it should work for most people. How it feels for me is that, it binds the car. At least I'm, digressing towards differential. Let's explain brakes right now. I always go with 50-50. Every car I have, I try to work around that aspect of things, is making sure that my brakes stay 50-50 so that I can normalize tire wear. I want to normalize tire wear front and back normally. If you move the brake bias around, I think that's one of the things that will burn your tires front or rear, depending on which car platform you're driving at that particular moment. So I try to work around that particular handicap of mine. And on occasion, and with the Ford Puma in particular, I have used my brake bias or put it at 45. I'll put it at 45 and try to facilitate some drifting. You know what I mean? Try to keep it away from being an understeery car on this side of things. So it stays at 50-50 most of the time. Suspensions are so relatively straightforward to me. It's a straightforward thing relatively. The stiffer it is, you can feel how stiff it is. the higher these percentages go. And if you're running over bumps, you won't have any stability. You'll see that relatively easily, or you'll feel that relatively easily in your controller. The vibration will be all over the place. Right now, I'm a little bit handicapped on a couple of fronts in that I'm not using a pro wireless controller. I just have a regular controller that I'm using right now, so I don't have analog acceleration or braking. It's relatively abrupt in the way that my car is reacting to it, so I have to compensate for that a little bit in the way that my suspension is set. Especially in the front for certain cars. Luckily for me, the Toyota, I think, has a lot of its architecture and plumbing routed all around the car, in the back of the car. It looks like they have a compressor back there. I don't know if that's ground effects or compression, but I would have to look into that with YouTube, with the help of YouTube later. It is something I'm curious about. Let's see. Anything else I want to change? No.
Five, four, three, two, one. Here we go. Right four, cut, into left three, keep in, into caution, right three, off camber, into left three, keep in, and caution, brake, right two, opens, keep in, 100, caution, brake, four, left one, narrow, overbrakes, 80, left three, small cut, 80, caution, brake, right one, don't cut, into left two, tightens, don't cut, into left four, medium, and right five, long, 50, caution, left two, medium, keep in, and right three, tightens two, long, 30, left three, big cut, into right four, and left four, cut, into kinks, over crest, into right four, and left four, medium, keep in, 50, right five, very long,
That's my personal split, and I'm not going very fast. I'm not doing very well.
brake, left three, keep in, 100, caution, brake, right three, keep into left four, tightens, 70, caution, brake, right three, keep into left four, tightens, 70, caution, right three, definitely don't cut, tightens, into left four, long, keep in, and right four, medium, and left four, cut, into right four, long, and left five, very long, caution, brake, four, right two, small cut, 100, caution, left three, tightens, keep into right five, and left five, keep in, and jump, 100, caution, brake, left one, cut, 100, over bump, caution, right four, very long, 50, caution, left three, narrow, into right four, into left three, opens, very long,
I gotta get used to the pressure of driving with the camera either on, right? Or let's say if I was gonna do an Instagram live or YouTube live stream.
and left four, medium, 30, and left four, tighten, keep into flat right, 50,
still get used to essentially doing competition of any kind. It's a totally different mentality you have to have,
Left 4.
I feel.
Right 3. Cut. Into caution. Brake. Left 2. Keep in. 50. Left 3. And right 3. Cut. And caution. Left 2. Keep into right 3. Cut. Over bridge. Bumps. 80. Caution. Brake. Left 3. Cut. Into right 2. Big cut. Open. Very long. And flat right. 100. And left 6. Keep in. Into right 5. Long. Keep in. And left 5. Tightens 4. Into flat right. Cut. And flat left. Into right 3. Into caution. Brake. Left 2. Keep in. Into right 4. Over bridge. Caution. Brake. Right 1. 100. Flat left. Over jump. At junction. Into dip. 150. Flat left. Into right 6. Over crest. Keep in. And left 6. Very long. Into flat right. And flat left. Over. Finish.
Not bad. Not a bad comeback. I can definitely do better. I'll hit you guys later.